in this conflict to end its belligerent action against the people of Palestine. This is a groundbreaking decision by the court.
11 out of 12 pick-it-up depots are now fully operational following protests by the waste collection company's casual workers. It's been 2 weeks of disruptions to waste collection in some parts of Johannesburg as workers took to the streets demanding permanent employment. Pick-it-up says the depot in Salby faced disruptions this morning before the protesters were removed by police. Spokesperson Muzim Kwanas.
The following depots successfully provided waste collection services today: the Avalon Depot, the Waterval Depot, the Southdale Depot, the Zondi Depot, the Orange Farm Depot, the Central Camp Depot, the Randburg Depot, the Rodiport Depot, the Norwood Depot, the Midrand Depot, and the Marlborough Depot.
And lastly, 22 people have been arrested in connection to the theft and vandalism of City Power infrastructure in Johannesburg. City Power says 11 of the suspects were arrested on Monday. The utility says in other incidents during the week, 11 more suspects were arrested in Soweto and Alexandra. Spokesperson Isaac Mangena.
The City Power CEO, Mr. Fudaro Mashava, has commended the work around this arrest as testament to the effectiveness of the utility's reinforced internal controls that have been put in place, coupled with the collaboration with the communities and law enforcement agencies.
Clear skies in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Joburg will drop to overnight lows of 5 degrees and peak at highs of 22. Pretoria's at 6 and 24 and Verenigings at 3 and 23. Noluthando Ngeno, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 947. For more, click ewn.co.za.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, cricket royalty is in the house. Kagiso Rabada. Modisa is calling us from Centurion. Good evening.
And now you're sitting with a young legend. So, I remember watching this guy during the Under-19 World Cup when he made his breakthrough. And I was like, this is unbelievable stuff. And I'm super proud, right? And I've followed him ever since, from the Delhi Capitals to the Punjab Kings, right through to the Test cricket.
Telling us about the journey, which is now, 10 years in the making, playing for the Proteas.
And maybe on the lighter note, is he into soccer? Which team does he support? Creshaw is always the top.
Tepo, thank you so much. You want to take that one quickly?
Yeah, Kaizer Chiefs. It's been a bit tough, but it's been very tough, but cozy for life.
A bit tough.
Cozy for life.
So do you think that the day the Proteas win, Chiefs will win? In us seeing you wear the Proteas colors in the manner that you did, but then it was just still a provincial thing. So if there's resistance then, you can imagine the resistance now.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW. Friday nights, always.
This is how we do it.
About our beloved legends. Pull up your chair. Let's chat legendary stuff. Marawa Sports Worldwide.
All right, Friday Legends right here at 947 Rise FM as well as Vuma FM with myself, Robert Marawa. Good evening and welcome to it. This show is brought to you by ABSA as well as Visa, worldwide partner of the Olympics as well as the Paralympic Games. Looking forward to it, man. The days are drawing ever so close to the Olympic Games, believe it or not. It's now what? We're sitting on 63 days to go before the Olympics. Hey, 63 days, that's all that's left until, the best athletes around the world get to compete. And still mentioning the Olympic Games, in actual fact, there's going to be 32 sports played during the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, as well as 329 medals, medal events in total. And an interesting fact as well, for the very, very first time ever, the 2024 Games will also take place in the French territory of Tahiti, where the surfing competition will be held on the Pacific Islands' legendary Tihupu Wave. That's located about 15,000 kilometers from Paris. Imagine that. Also, good luck tonight to the Hollywood Bets Sharks. Great occasion, big final awaits them. All the best. They've done so well to get there.
Previous Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, cricket royalty is in the house. Kagiso Rabada. But for you, just a cycle of cricket where it just seems like a never-ending cycle over and over again.
It can feel like you're a bit of a robot because you're just playing from one game to the next and you don't even have time just to be on your own and work on your game and get better at your game.
Maybe you find yourself not wanting to leave your bedroom, closing the curtains and just wanting everybody to leave you. Have you ever felt that?
Sport is a business and sometimes athletes can be looked at as commodities and they're just there for the broadcasting rights. They're there, and they get used in that way. But you need to look after them and see what needs, they need.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Friday nights, always.
This is how we do it.
About our beloved legends. Pull up your chair. Let's chat legendary stuff. Marawa Sports Worldwide.
All right, so very few players get to have illustrious careers as this man has. He's one of the very few South African players who started in over 300 games in the Premier Soccer League era. It's almost like a blessing, man. The other day we had Happy Jele here. You know his story with Orlando Pirates, and here today he's a different guest, but also of a similar stature, if not higher, because I'll tell you exactly why I say that. Of the 323 starts that he had, 282 of those games were with Swallows. Oh, I mean, what a leader he turned out to be, though, for the Dube Birds. He joined from, Bloemfontein Celtic. Straight out of high school, fresh from high school. That was back in 1999, 2000. And spent 5 years at Celtic, turned professional during his time at the club. Manyatseng is probably buzzing right now. That's a special place in Ladybrand. And that's the home of the legend. And he turned out to be the pride, though, of the Free State province at large. Never mind just Bloemfontein Celtic. But throughout his playing career and his playing days, he was a consummate professional. Ask anybody, they'll tell you the same story, which explains, I guess, the longevity that he's had in the sport. Tough as nails on the pitch, but an absolute softie, some describe him, and a gentleman off it. Our legend, Lefa Tsutsulupa, is here, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you on board, yeah? See, there's one Swallows fan there. In the whole building, there's one Swallows fan.
You just need one person to believe in you, and then you're good.
You need more, though. Birds don't fly alone.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys keep telling us, don't follow us, follow the birds. Not the bird.
Yeah.
Isn't that?
It happens. Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
But at least he's one of the younger supporters of Swallows, because there was always a talk that Swallows is full of old, retired supporters.
Okay. Let me start here. Greetings to everyone.
We haven't greeted. I'm sorry, man. I got so excited. Welcome to the show, man. Lefa, good to see you.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah.
Finally, I'm here.
Sure.
It's been long.
I know.
And I appreciate it.
Good to see you, though.
Yeah. Same here.
I always wondered, and disagree with me if you can. Feel free. This is your show. It's not mine. We're celebrating you. I talked about Bloemfontein Celtic and when you started. And I remember then you were bald-headed, young, fresh-faced human being. And here you are today, a mop of hair. What's the contrast? Was it intentional?
I will say it was intentional.
Yeah.
However, I was young when I was at Celtic. And along the way, obviously, I grew, I matured. And you realize, this business really need a brand. So I needed to stand out somehow.
And growing the dreadlocks was part of that brand.
Yes, especially if you a player that grew under David Modise, you'll understand.
I do understand 100%.
Ntawali, you'll understand.
Oh, yes. Why?
Yes.
Why your word? What a player. Also, with his roots at Bloemfontein Celtic.
100%.
Going to Mamelodi Sundowns, doing the business with Piano and Shoeshine. Yo, I can go on and on. He knows I'm a big fan of his, and as much as I'm a big fan of yours. And back to the hair, though. I discovered something What is your other name?
Samuel.
What's the link between Samuel and hair?
I just know he had big, long hair.
For strength, power, longevity, you name it.
Yes.
And if ever he had to cut the hair off, there'll be big problems.
Samson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Samson, no Samuel. Hey.
You know, I grew up in a house where we were taught to listen to elders and learn from history.
Yes.
Yes. So the Samson story somehow need to be respected.
And that's why, you know, in learning of your other name, I'm going to okay, Samuel, Samson, hair, strength, power. And there's a lot to respect in that because people write you off. We've spoken about this where the public wants Lefa to retire when the public feels that you should retire. But you go against that belief and you do it in your own time. And I remember when the journalists were pressing you and saying, oh, you've had a dispute with Swallows, therefore you are leaving Swallows, therefore you have now retired. And you said, no, I haven't retired. I'm leaving the club. Why was it so important for you to make that big adjustment in terms of mindset of the journalists, but also make that distinction?
Okay. When I started football, no one told me when to start. And I believe that if it was to end, it should have been on my terms.
Yes.
So I made that decision when I was still young. And with everything that I've ever put my hands on, I've tried to do, I've always tried to do it on my terms. Obviously, that will put you in some difficult situations because people always want followers more than leaders. They want people who are more yes. But if you have a different mindset, you're always going to have some level of resistance against what you want to achieve, you know?
Did you feel pressured, though? Did you feel that there was a lot of pressure around you to walk away from the game?
Not really. No. Football is pressure. So every day, when you wake up and you go to work, there's always pressure. You're working in the streets, there are fans that have expectations, there's pressure. There's family that you need to provide for, there's pressure. So there was no pressure at all. I just knew that eventually this football thing has to end. And I will decide when to put my boots away. And when the day arrived, I just made the decision knowing that I'm very much comfortable with my decision.
What was that one defining moment that made you believe and feel that the time was right?
I think I've been blessed with the fact that I worked under a lot of coaches and they taught me a lot. And the first thing when I started football that Stiles Pumo, the late Stiles Pumo, taught me was you need to always listen to your body. If you're tired, you're tired. If you feel like you can go on, you go on. So there was a morning, in short, obviously the team Swallows got relegated and I was busy with my studies, etc. And then when I was done and I made arrangement to go and train with a certain team. However, on the day that I was supposed to start training with the team, I just, woke up in the morning and then, my body was like, no, bro, this is not happening. No.
Which team was this that you were going to train with? You're retired now. You can share.
Okay, I wanted to go back to Free State, and finish my career in the Free State.
Yeah.
So I called Free State Stars and I was like, hey, I'm ready to come home. I believe I have 2 years that to still give. Is there an opportunity?
Yeah.
And then they said, yeah, you can come through. But when that day arrived, I was like, it's not happening.
What were you feeling?
More like content with what I've achieved And I think the special fact was that I created a certain brand around the Morocco Solos logo. Let me put like the history. And thinking of me starting again in another jersey of a different color really wasn't gonna cut it for me.
I think it's that kind of thing people put out on Twitter and say they put out a jersey and they say, who does this make you think of? So your one fan in the whole of Sandton who's here in studio is the same person who said, nobody made that VW logo look as great as you did. Is that what you're agreeing to, in essence?
In essence, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know why? Because I believe in association. So if you do good by the brand will do good by you. Maybe...
No, I hear you. And it makes perfect sense. But you've just opened yourself up to me saying the loyalty that you showed the brand that I'm sure did not even give you a car is a problem.
There were no expectations from my side. I was just simply fulfilling my duties.
Trust me. If a Bayern Munich is associated with Audi or a Real Madrid is associated with any brand, I don't want to promote too many brands here, you'll see each and every player arriving at training driving that car brand. As long as you got a legal document that says you're your driver's license, not something you've got from the small street commissioner, then you would be able to proudly drive that car. In the same way the administrators, weren't they driving that car? They were.
Yes.
But the administrators are not brand ambassadors of the club. And that is where South African football gets it wrong, is that instead of saying to Lefa, here's the brand new what of this car brand, you the captain. So maybe let's say they can't give every player the car. Then at least give the captain or the senior players who deserve, based on the number of years that they've been there. You've done administration. You know what loyalty is. You've done conflict management studies. You know how to manage situations as well. That makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you.
It does.
But it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. Maybe we should look at it in this way.
Yeah.
The contract or the agreement between the team and VW, how was that structured? I don't know the details. Maybe it did allow the ambassadorship to happen. Maybe it didn't. Also, the marketing teams of both brands, were they forward thinkers? We don't know. Did that cross their mind and was scratched off? We don't know. So it's a very complex situation to actually put a yes or no on it.
And that's why I said it's not even a Lefa problem. It is a problem within the thinking of administrators in football at times in this country, is that they think around themselves as around to sharing that they can do. I use Sundowns. You know Sundowns very, very well. You'll tell us all about Sundowns after the break. But Sundowns, they got a sponsorship from Hyundai. A couple of their players have been to the studio here. I walked them out. What car they're driving? They're driving the brand. Some of the administrators who also come here, what are they doing? They're driving and living the brand. They even go as far as having a competition. Miss Sundowns. What does Miss Sundowns win?
Yes.
She's not winning a voucher to go shopping, I don't know, for ankle products. No. They're winning the brand. So you love the brand. And when I come back, when I talk about the sports admin certificate that you do have, sports marketing and sponsorship that you have, sports event management, club management and admin, sports psychology, sociology of sport, I'm already exhausted just mentioning that, but you've studied it. My goodness.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
Stay ahead of the curve in style. with special offers on a range of Suzuki models for you to choose from. This is guaranteed to be your best year yet. First car or upgrade, Suzuki's got you. Our cars are lined up and ready to give you more experiences, more fun, and more adventure. Hey, that's one resolution you can tick off, right? Visit suzukiauto.co.za to get more in 2024.
Here comes that mood again. That mood to hear some breaking news for the 12th time in a row. Are you sitting down? Because Macro has been voted as the cheapest basket in SA by the Outliers Cheapest Basket Survey again. It's probably best to remain seated because our money would be on us getting it again and again. We suggest you put your money on us too because it'll be money well saved. If you've ever felt like that, then someone's in a Macro mood.
I gained so much weight with my old car insurance company, waiting hours on the phone. I was desperate to lose the weight. So I got Naked. With Naked's AI-powered weight loss technology, car insurance is faster than ever. I got a quote and signed up in seconds. And it's all on the app, so I'll never have to wait again. Start your weight loss journey now at naked.insure. Lose weight. Get Naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Want to win a car with Spar? Swipe your Spar Rewards card when you buy any participating product and stand to win one of 55 red Hyundai Grand i10 sedans. Competition ends 2 June. Get 5 Roses 100s tagless tea bags for just $49.99. Rewards customers save 8 Rand. Or Clover 100 gram 6-pack dairy snack yogurt assorted, excluding fruits of the forest. Buy any 2 for only 34 Rand and save 6 Rand. Price is valid from 22 May to 2 June. T's and C's apply.
And they're off! Bet 50 Rand or more on horse racing with Hollywood Bets and you could win over 2 million Rand in prizes, including a brand new Golf GTI or an Amoda Elegance S. Bet now to race to the finish line. T's and C's apply.
Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Sometimes it comes at a cost. I wish I saw more of the big moments in their lives.
Starting an all-female tattoo studio wasn't easy. There are so many gatekeepers in this industry.
Did you ever want to call it quits?
I can't imagine myself doing anything else.
I'm on my way home.
This is where bravery lives.
I'm on my way home.
Brave businesses have a home with Yoko. Let's grow.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
I think there's a lot of spotlight around you with regards to being the only African player in the current T20 squad. How do you feel about that? Because you're not only there because you're African, but you're there because you're probably the best player there.
How do you take that as an honest question? Because it is an issue.
The people who are responsible for picking the team, they pick the team. I have nothing to do with that. Leading into a World Cup, that's the last thing you want to think about. However, it is quite a heavy topic. As a black African player, growing up, I've never seen myself a player of color. I saw myself as a player who is competing. If someone were to pick me in a team because of the color of my skin, then I don't want to play.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Friday nights, always.
This is how we do it.
About our beloved legends. Pull up your chair. Let's chat legendary stuff. Marawa Sports Worldwide.
26 minutes after the hour, it is hashtag MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide. Lefa Tsutsulupa is my guest here tonight. Taking your calls, your WhatsApp voice notes. Otherwise, the studio number is pretty simple: 011-8838-947.
Madluphutu, captain, my captain, nabalaleli bonke ngiyabingelela ntambama nje igama lami uSipho kaXulu. Ngithi nama ngilahlele isivivanweni Madluphutu. You are sitting with one of the greatest players this club has ever produced. Tsutsulupa is one of those players who came to the club and changed the complexion of the club. Ngasho ngithi Tsutsulupa, you played your part, you ran your race. I remember Madluputu Tsutsulupa came to Swallows and took over from one of the most successful captain, Goodman Mazibuko. He took over, but he never dropped the ball. He kept the standard as high as possible, because taking over from a person who did well, it becomes a challenge for you to maintain the status quo. So Tsutsulupa was able to achieve that. We know Uti, he was a captain, and during his time, we won titles. During his times, we played Uma final. During his times, we contested for the league. So he's one of the players that will be respected forever. The who captain Oma Swai Igelo, Katibembiza Uma Isidlala. Sithike siyabonga Tsutsulupa for having played for this club. Thina njengabalandeli siyakuthanda, siyakuhlonipha. We know what you produce. It's unfortunate ukuthi ezinye izinto ezenzakele that ezenze ukuthi i-club ize idrop, they were not in anyone's hands except kuma circumstances that cost us it us. But what I can say, even after the club was relegated, Tsutsulupa stayed very close in the club. He advised, he came close, he was just a call away. He is still a call away. Ngasho ngithi no, siyabonga Tsutsulupa is one of the players that we will always respect. Amaswayiswayi ayabonga. Siyabonga Marawa for giving us this opportunity of thanking some of our players besaphila. Siyathemba ukuthi lokho kuzoqhubekela phambili. Sithi hayi ke Tsutsulupa, we wish you well njengamaswazi. I'm talking on behalf of all the supporters of the beach. We wish you well whatever you are doing.
Oh man, hey. Bob Sipokolo, thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. And you can hear the respect that he brings forward. One of the top administrators that Maswai have ever had. And he's right. You know, we celebrate our living legends. We celebrate them whilst they still can breathe and they're still alive. It's as simple as that. It's a simple philosophy that we follow, but you need to always hear the good that you've done, the improvements, the changes you brought to an establishment as well as to South Africa as a whole. Lefa, you heard what the great Sipokolo Ubaba has had to say.
It's very humbling, you know, when you have Abobra Sipo saying words like this. I think for me, Brasipo, Bra Bennett, Bra Junior, when I arrived at Swallows, they were like my fathers, you know, and obviously they guided us, they taught us the Swallows way, because every conversation that we had a history lesson in it, and they were always, you know, positive about the club, and they always referred to the club as a big club, as the first professional club, as the first to do this or that, you know, and with those stories, obviously, as a player, a young player, I learned and to respect the brand. And I think that is what is missing at the moment. The players just rock up at the club and then they don't get to be taught the culture and the history of the club. And for them, it's just the job. They're just there, and then whatever happens, they will move to the next one.
And that's sad, though, because just during the break, I was chatting to you and saying, you know, as a kid, I always knew that Swallows were a top team. I knew that in my mind, till today, I can still visualize that Mainstay Cup final, Swallows versus Woodbank Black Aces. I can still visualize the incident, you know, where my man, you know, Cyprian, as the goalkeeper, kicked in the chest. There was a big thing that was going on there. Samuel Happy Kaungom. I remember Thomas who's fooling Ushongwane. I remember Aubrey the Great, Mkhupela. I remember so many greats that played there. You know, even the South Americans, when they came to South Africa, that's where they played their football. And then things take a turn and take a change, and you start to think, but what's going on? And you go back to 2017. Now, Swallows then got their third consecutive relegation. They played against Orange Val Professionals then. So you can imagine moving from the pros to ABC Motsipe League to Nje. Goodbye, nothing. They flew away just like the birds. What impact did that have, especially that happened in 2017?
Yeah, those were that period was a very sad period. As a former player, it really hurt. And however, I always had the belief that one way or the other we will bounce back. I didn't know how, but obviously things happened and the team is back now. I think I always love to say we.
It's your team, and I don't, you know what, Baba, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
If you've broken the records that you have at Swallows and you've been there as long as you have, the we part is we till the grave.
Thank you. Yeah, so I believed the team will bounce back. I believe that I still do at the moment that Swallows is a big brand.
Yeah.
It's a giant that can still be awakened. We just need to have our house in order and have proper structures and have a different vision altogether and have strong personalities that will take the best brand forward. While I was still playing, we had this idea that every supporter, irrespective of which team you support, Swallows is the next, you know. If
your number two choice,
your
basically.
number two choice, yeah. If we all knew that, and we always capitalized on it in the sense that we knew at a stadium we will always have other fans from other clubs coming to the stadium and to watch us. So in a way, Swallows is a big team in terms of followers. They might not be strictly Swallows,
yes,
but we have a certain level of support that I believe the club can still leverage on.
You made a definite decision that not like any and every other person that feels that once you've retired from football, you must then go into coaching, you must then go into television and be an analyst. You studied, and the things that I mentioned just before the break were deliberate because you had a deliberate direction that you wanted to take after playing football. And I don't know, maybe I'm missing out on the breaking news, but are you even involved at Swallows administration-wise?
Not directly involved, per se.
Yeah.
So we have chats, you know, we have coffees here and there. And if people ask my opinion, I'll tell them. And I'm always true to how I see things. Whether they take it or they don't take it, it's up to the person. But I'm always open in terms of how I see football at the moment, how I think Swallows should be doing things, how I believe the players should be, you know, how recruited, etc. So, like as per Bra Sipo said, I'm always open. I'm always nearer to the club. So yeah, in a way, I'm indirectly available. Indirectly, yes.
Yeah, but that's not good enough. You because of who you are, you can have coffee with anybody. You can phone the president of the country and say, President, let's sit and meet and need to talk.
Hey, that's Sunday. That's too high.
No, it's happened. You know, you got to live for your name, and that's why so many people, you know, get out there and they say they want to celebrate you.
Greetings, Rob. I just want to send my tribute to Lefa Tsutsulupa. I want to believe back in the days when discipline was a priority amongst professional football players, this gentleman was a leader when it comes to that. You know, football players have certain things that ways they do things, but Lefa, all in his life, it was about discipline. He also captained the club. That shows that even management was acknowledging his contribution. He was a great footballer, hard worker inside the field of play, a lot of assists. And what I liked about him, he also encouraged young boys that were coming after him that they mustn't give up, they must persevere. It will happen at some stage. He was a great motivator in the club, and he did, and he played, and he paid his dues into football. You can see by the demeanor that he has, the structure and the way he is still today. He's just a football person. We loved him, we liked him.
Loved him, liked him, and admired him. The words there of Khumbulani Khongco. Hey, a man who is pretty much known the large part of his career and life as being, the man behind Bloemfontein Celtic in an admin playing capacity. Khumbulani, thank you so much, man. Maybe your response to what you've heard from Khumbulani.
Oh, yeah. Thanks to Khumbulani as well. I've known Khumbulani for so long. I think we played together at Celtics. And he was a great administrator. I think he still is.
Yes.
And, we really appreciate this kind of words. Sometimes when you're playing football, you're just there enjoying the fun, the environment. You actually don't understand the impact that you're having on the game or even people around you. So it's conversations like this or statements like this that makes one realize the contribution into the game.
All right, let me take Simpiwe in Tembisa. So many voice notes. I was trying to decide if I go to Tembisa for Simpiwe. Simpiwe, good evening.
Good evening, Marawa. You had to go by Tembisa. There's no way you cannot do that.
I know. I was with somebody from Tembisa for most of today, so hey, I don't know what's happening with Tembisa.
Yeah, no, we've been a loyal servant of this show, so we have to get those compliments. Mr. Tsutsulupa, good evening as well to you, sir. You have
good evening to you too.
Yeah, thanks, sir. You have served the South African football with utmost best, not just South African football, but Morocco's Philos. You've done a lot. I remember you played with a player that I thought at some point you guys were brothers, so Mukoro, because of your identical hairstyles. And just out of curiosity, how long have you been having those dreadlocks, sir? I believe you still have them right now.
Hey, if you're watching the YouTube channel, but you wouldn't ask that question, so I suggest wherever you are.
I'm not watching, sir. I was just working now, so I'm out of work, so I had to catch up on the other side. But I'll turn on to YouTube just now.
No, fantastic. Any particular question, though? I know that you've likened him to his former teammate. You've given him his flowers in terms of his contribution. Anything else you want to know about what he's doing currently?
Obviously, one would have to ask, why is he not part of the Swallow structures? Yes, he did mention that he does give his opinions here and there, but I believe for the contributions that he has done for the team, it has to be much bigger than what he's saying, unless if he was afforded an opportunity and he turned down maybe because of other adventures. But other than that, then he has to be part of Swallows, either development or something. Has there been an opportunity of that caliber, sir, Mr. Tsutsulupa?
Nice one, Simpi. I'll ask you to listen on the radio. Thank you very much indeed. Proper question. Go ahead, my legend.
Don't about this one.
Oh, it won't. I think it will free you a little bit.
Yeah, so I get this question a lot. Yeah. And I understand why people are always asking this question. So I'll just put it out there. There was a period where obviously I wanted to be part of Swallows, be part of the new Swallows, be contribute to the the new vision. However, that was turned down. I sent down a couple of emails, no responses, and you come to a point where you realize it's not about what you have done, it's about if the team needs the person of your caliber. So at the moment, I don't think I'm the person that the team needs. That's looking from the outside, and I've accepted the fact that if it's not going to happen now, it will happen when the time is right. So for now, what I need to do is just to focus on making myself better, learning as much as I can until that day happens. And when it happens, I'll be ready.
And before I take a break, very quickly though, did they respond and say no, or they just didn't come back to you?
The normal responses. We'll get back to you.
Just like we are going to do.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
Say Century Property Developments invites you to see the home of the century at the Century Home Show, featuring South Africa's leading residential architects and designers. Located at Helderfontein Estate, the event runs on 18th to 19th and 25th to 26th May. Enjoy a fun-filled family day out. Entrance is free. Vote for your favorite house to win prizes. For more details, visit century.co.za.
Just me and my GWMP series against the wilderness, conquering the ferocious school traffic with adaptive cruise control, dodging delivery bikes with autonomous emergency braking. Hi, honey.
Did you take my P-Series?
Mom, Dad's doing that thing again.
The GWMP series LT 4x4 from just $7,899 per month. T's and C's and more at gwm.co.za.
Life isn't always convenient. Like when you don't pack lunch because lunch would be served at the lunchtime meeting with client, but the lunchtime meeting with client got cancelled, and so did your lunch. Luckily, what is convenient is popping over to your nearest Engen Quick Shop & Co. for all the things you need for a delicious lunch. Get amazing deals from Engen Quick Shop & Co. until 30 June 2024 at your convenience. Terms and conditions apply. Engen, with us, you are number one.
Get down to Dis-Chem from this Friday 24th to Sunday 26th May for incredible one weekend only 2+1 cheapest free deals on the widest range of sports supplements, energy drinks and bars from brands like Biogen, NPL, USN and many more. Get expert advice from our in-store consultants to help you reach your health and fitness goals. Excludes all advertised products. Only at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
It's time to carve yourself. Because prepping wena means protecting yena.
To stay forever wena, get tested whenever.
Forever ask for consent. Condomize.
My sex if you're not feeling it. Be forever prepped and forever status checked.
Because it's not one or the other.
It's forever wena. Know your sexual health options and choose you. Visit foreverwena.co.za.
It's more than a house. It's where Nkosi nervously watched the 1-point Rugby World Cup wins and listened to 4,889 bad dad jokes and laughed at all of them.
ABSA Insurance covers things that matter with simple and affordable building and household contents insurance. Get a fixed excess, expert Giza claims assistance, and more. Visit absa.co.za or call 0860 20 21 22 to get a quote and move to ABSA Insurance today. Your story matters. ABSA, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, cricket royalty is in the house. Kagiso Rabada, the injury which we were all worried about.
It wasn't serious.
Yeah.
Very manageable.
Is he going to make it? Is he going to be on that flight to the US and Caribbean? The answer is what?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's off. He's on that flight. I love that. I love that. I love that. USA. It sounds a bit strange where you're going to be talking about taking wickets in New York.
Yeah, right. It's crazy. I mean, last year we played in the MLC, which is the Major League Cricket, and it was the inaugural year. And I played for a team called Mumbai, New York. I know it's the names clash a little bit. So cricket is growing that side, and
#MSW. #MSW. Friday nights, always. This is how we do it. About our beloved legends. Pull up your chair. Let's chat legendary stuff. Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to the legend, Lefa Tsutsulupa. Rob, I used to call that man Mr. Loyalty because he served Swallows with earnest dedication, and he gave his all in the field of play. Rob, they don't come like Lefa Tsutsulupa anymore. Enjoyed the team that he captained, where he had the likes of Macbeth Sibaya, Siyabonga Nomvete, Lerato Shabangu, Luvengo Mungome. I think the Hamma Balani was also there. Rob, also encouraging to see the legend as well, giving back to the community through Lefa Tsutsulupa Foundation. But my question to you, Lefa, what are your views about the PSL Awards nominees, looking at the guys who were instrumental in Sundowns breaking the records, not being included or nominated for PSL Awards, the likes of Marcelo Allende, Ribeiro Costa, and many more of Sundowns Crowns players not being considered for these big awards, yet they broke records. Just want to hear your views around that.
Debocha, thank you so much indeed. Valid question at a valid time for the awards. A lot of people said that those players should be at least nominated. They're not.
Yeah, it's I want to find the right word that is very diplomatic.
Don't be diplomatic.
Yeah, I believe the guys that have been mentioned, Ribeiro and Allen, they did well. Especially Ribeiro, being his first season in SA, I think he performed very well. Actually beyond expectations. However, I think there is also criteria in terms of how these players are chosen or nominated. So certain people have powers to cast their votes and eventually have the nominees on the board. You know, so maybe we should look at actually using stats more in South Africa. Maybe that's the way to go instead of us. Looking at popularity or you know,
You've said it.
So
popularity, social media.
Exactly, the hype. Sometimes some players get hype when it's not even necessary. I believe that's the downfall of South African football. We need to look at game changers in South Africa. We need to look at players that influences matches positively and you know, improve the standards of football. But at the moment, I think it's more around hype and which teams you play for, etc.
All right, let me go to Edenvale. Tom, thank you for holding on. Good evening.
Hi, Rob. Good evening to you and good evening to Lefa.
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Rob, I want to find out from Lefa. Captain, I want to know how does it feel to see the current Moroka Swallows being ordinary as compared to the one where you played with the likes of Chabang under Gordon Ingerson. How do you feel to see Moroka Swallows always fighting relegation season in, season out? And what advice can you give? I know people can judge you. Maybe you'll be taking the coaches' jobs and stuff like that. What advice do you give to Swallows as we are ending the season, looking into the forthcoming season? What advice would you give to them? What should they do to be competitive, man? They're not competitive, Lefa. I'll listen on the radio, Rob. Thanks.
Tom, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Fair question. Your emotional feelings right now would be what? When you see them go through the same problem year in, year out, you're not looking mid-table, you're not looking at the top, you're not looking at them getting into a CAF position, you're looking at them avoiding relegation all the time.
I think sometimes we sugarcoat situations. I don't think Swallows is an ordinary club. I think it's a struggling club at the moment, and we should tell it as it is. Until the club itself realize that it's a struggling club, and they start putting measures in place to move away from where they are at the moment and improve their performances, their positioning, and their branding, nothing is going to change. They always think there's hope. You know, other teams will lose points, they will lose matches here and there. However, I think it's more of internal processes that they need to put in place in order to move the team away from where they are at the moment.
Big Daddy has sent a message saying that let's not beat about the bush. The current administration is not recognizing former players. Just look at the Asimnini and Lefa Tsutsulupa. Both of these players, they've played their hearts out for the Birds. Swallows needs change in their administration. So thank you very much indeed. I mean, that comes from a branch chair of the team in Potchefstroom. You know, so he's not beating about the bush. He's calling it the way it is, and that's the way it should be all the time. We got, this gentleman by the name of Sipho Nzuzo.
Yes.
You know him very well? Yeah. He sent a message. He says, thank you very much for bringing Lefa as the legend. I am very proud of him and his contributions then as well as now. His contributions now prove that ex-footballers can be of assistance to football. And I wish Lefa a very bright future.
Thank you, Grootman.
What a Grootman that is, eh?
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Sipho Nzuzo.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, and good evening to your guest, Mr. Lefa Tsutsulupa. Khuluma noSibongelelo kaMkhwani. What a loyal servant of Moroka Swallows. I think Lefa has served the Dube Bates with an aplomb, Mr. Marawa. I even remember the team that was doing wonders for Morocco Swallows in his time, which were Greg Itafia, Rudi Isaac, Luvengo Mngomeni, Levi Mohotu, Ashraf Hendricks, George Negatse, Lefa Tsutsulupa, Swarero Bereng, Edward Manele, and Siyabonga Nomvete, Felix Obada. I think that Morocco Swallows was doing very well. They nearly won the league. They lost it in the last game of the season. I just wish Lefa everything of the best in future. Thank you, Mr. Marawa. Good show.
Smogaleni, thank you so much indeed. I told you, names and memories, and he rattles them just like that.
Yeah. We appreciate supporters like this, who know the business of football and who appreciate our contribution to the game. And yeah, man, it's good.
It's good. It's also very good what's happening on the YouTube channel. Let me also recognize everybody that's there, that's logged on. From Abo Lawrence Shibango, we're looking forward to the show. He says, wow, thank you so much for bringing our Free State legend onto the show. We also have Joel says, thank you, Lefa. Always admired your professionalism on and off the field. Cliff, the Enigma says, greetings, legend. What a legend that you've got there. Humble, professional, intelligent, as well as wise. Mr. Lefa served the game as well as Swallows with aplomb. This man should be in SAFA or the PSL offices. Hey, that's what the people are saying, not me. He says, with his marketing experience, he should be a SAFA or PSL serving the game in that boardroom, and says thank you very much for having us sit down with this legend. I'm equally humbled to be in his company. Believe you me.
Hey, uphethe umuntu lo lo muntu bekahluphe egroundini man. Ma umtshela ufuna ukuquestion ama decision yaka referee questions. Now I tell him the other day, hey, you do your job, I do my job. He walked away. The next minute ukhahlela umuntu ngimdabula nge-yellow card. He said to me, manje when I do my job unginike yellow card. Your job is not to kick people but to score goals and play football. Manje se uniyakhahlela. Yo Tsutsulupa, but what a gentleman of the game. He entertained us, good captain on the field, and all the best, Lefa. Thank you.
Victor. Hey, Victor Kluwan. He was problematic himself, that one as a referee.
Very much so. Very much so. But I enjoyed his company. We had our conflicts on the field.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we always came out as friends. You know. And one thing I loved about him is that he was willing to teach us, the rules, not enforce the rules, which for me worked for me because I could relate the same information to my players, And
there's a big difference there.
There's a big difference between current referees and the old generation. So, yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Olifelang here, and good evening to the MSW Shoulders, and good evening to Mr. Lefa Tsutsulupa. Oh, what a player. The one memory that comes to mind is their 2012 MTN 8 triumph, led by former coach Zaka Marks. They had players such as Lelo Mbele, they had Chinene, Greg Itafia as well, and Lefa Tsutsulupa, just to name a few. The way they played that game against SuperSport at the Orlando Stadium, it was a great game of football all around. It was a fantastic game of football, and just the overall, the ever-present Lefa Tsutsulupa, the ever-disciplined, ever-humble, and the incredible athlete that he was, especially since, we haven't been seeing him on the footballing pitch for quite some time. Lefa Tsutsulupa, what I will take from him is how disciplined he was all around. I don't think I've personally heard a single story of Lefa Tsutsulupa being caught off guard doing some other funny things. I've never. The guy has remained disciplined, the guy has remained grounded, and the guy has remained focused throughout his years as a footballer. And for me, I guess a lot of athletes can learn a thing or two from a player like Lefa Tsutsulupa, another underrated footballer in my view, arguably one of the most exceptional captains that we've seen playing for Morocco Swallows. So for me, it is just simply congratulating him on such an incredible career, and all the best, man, health-wise and footballing-wise. Hopefully, football will never lose you, and you will never lose football. Again, congrats on such a fantastic career, Baba. Great show as always. Thanks.
Hulufalang, thank you so much indeed. Hey, more praises. Are you absorbing them? Are you okay? No tissues needed?
No. I'm good. Thank you.
He says, I'm good, thank you. Hey, but,
Sure, Robbie. Lefa Tsutsulupa. Ntwana yako Lady Brand Machabe. Yeah, GB comes to Joburg. Yeah, kibitseba asa bapala Celtics. Isale ntwana man. 18, 19, I guess. Yeah. Kire ntwane man ke mantwane. Ibile ne kena nor ke ntwana ya David Modise. The way ne ba bapala exactly the same. Dreadlocks, maybe Kintwana David, man, Kinanokin, a back dog, Huntatamuli. Yeah, but yeah, he did well, and then he went to Cosmos, he did very well. Then he went to Swallows, he did very well. I remember at one stage he was a captain. Everything started to grow bigger because he came to a big city, big dreadlocks. Everything, was like getting bigger and bigger, big salary or better salary. Yeah. And then, Robbie, don't take things easy. That boy is very quiet, disciplined. Yeah, and during his captaincy, he goes Swallows. He won himself a gold medal and a trophy. I think it was Nedbank. Yeah. And that was Basamunga Hanyani Ntwani, unali medal. Bakada babua Tsutsulupa medal, only medal. We won, it's all right, mara only medal. Baba ngabana next. Yeah, mara ntwana gana le medal, we won. Yeah, and Raul Bukhisa Fanak. Yeah, and look, you'll always be a legend and the best. Yeah, and God must bless you. I know Ratam Sariawa Hulong Fanak. Yeah, and keep it that way. Enjoy.
He never changes, this man.
No, he doesn't. It's always been like this.
Oh, it's such a breath of fresh air, though.
Nah.
We appreciate you, Majens Mutale. He says it the way it is. I was going to give you a chance to respond, but I know what you're going to say to him. We also just got a message now from another great legend of the game here in South Africa. Fanny Matita says, player-centered captain indeed, contributing a lot in trying to get the players going during difficult moments. Remember the problems that are at Swallows. They started back then with Leon Prince at the helm. He says, good luck with your endeavors. Captain, my captain, Coach Fanny Matita. Oh, man, look at the screen and I'm saying, guys, forgive me if your voice note was not played. It's hard. It's difficult when you're as popular as this man. All I wanted to say, sir, is thank you so much for gracing us. As you called us on your Twitter page, you said the spicy seat. So I hope it's not been as spicy as you thought it was going to be. This is just to say thank you for your wonderful contribution to football in this country, and we hold you in very, very high esteem. And continue being the gentleman that you are and giving back to the game.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your invitation and also the support of forever loving football fans.
That's why. Now, this was Friday Legends on 947 Rise FM and Vuma FM with myself, Robert Marawa. Brought to you by ABSA and Visa, worldwide partner of the Olympics and Paralympic Games. Have a great weekend.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.